Manchester United's greatest players. No 6, Denis Law. Who are the greatest players in Manchester United's history? The Athletic gave Andy Mitten the task of compiling his top 25, and we are counting them down this summer, in reverse order. He explains his thought process here. Denis Law is one of only 4 Manchester United players to win the Ballon d'Or, and the only Scottish player ever to do so.
Wet boots ruining your mornings? This silent, fanless dryer gently dries boots, shoes, and gloves overnight while helping reduce damp odors, so your gear is ready when you are. Want to get the best verified deal and see full details? Visit grabdeal.us/4 right now.
He is third on United's all-time top scorers chart, with 237 goals, yet has a better strike ratio than Wayne Rooney and Sir Bobby Charlton ahead of him. Advertisement for United, he was an out-and-out striker, whereas he had played as an old-fashioned inside forward at his previous clubs, Huddersfield Town, under legendary boss Bill Shankly, Manchester City and Torino. His goals-to-games ratio is 0.58, roughly a goal every 153 minutes, easily the best of United's top 50 appearance makers. Law's 404 games between 1962 and 1973 put him 27th in the appearance chart. Exceptional before he joined United, he warranted the huge fees it cost to sign him. His move to City was a British record, his transfer to Italy a record for a British player, and his £115,000, $155,000 at today's exchange rate, move to Old Trafford another British record. Sir Matt Busby was waiting at the airport with Law and Law's wife Diana as United tried to woo Pat Crerand from Celtic. Crerand had never met Busby before, but Diana Law took his wife Noreen shopping in Manchester and made sure she was looked after. Some photographers followed them, and there was a picture in the paper the next day of the pair of them looking at shoes. Getting down to business, Busby said he was building a strong team, and United had been ambitious enough to sign Law, who joined from Torino in 1962. He said he needed somebody to play the ball up to the forwards, and that player would be Crerand. That was some selling point, and it worked. Law is the only person to have 2 statues at Old Trafford, one as part of the Law-Best-Charlton Trinity, the other a standalone in the Stretford end. He also has a statue where he grew up in Aberdeen. The Lawman was the original king of Old Trafford, and for half a century after he left the club, he was still venerated in song to the tune of Davy Crockett by United fans on European away trips. Son of a fisherman from Aberdeen, they'd sing. Played for his country when only 18, his football magic is a sight to see, as he leads United on to victory. Denis Law, king of the Football League. There's another about fans being prepared to walk 1,000,000 miles for one of his goals. Advertisement in 1963, he scored in the 3-1 FA Cup final win over Leicester City as United won their first trophy since the Munich air disaster. This is a player who held his cuffs in his clenched fists, mimicked by thousands of schoolboys, who took a sly cigarette now and then and was Sir Alex Ferguson's role model as a footballer. Law was the most expensive signing I ever made, said Busby, quoted in David Meek's book, Manchester United, 100 Greatest Players. But he turned out to be the cheapest. I knew we had the most exciting player in the game. He was the quickest thinking that I ever saw, seconds quicker than anyone else. He had the most tremendous acceleration and could leap to enormous heights to head with almost unbelievable accuracy, so often with the power of a shot. Law was a star in United's great 1960s side, but he missed the 1968 European Cup final. I felt sorry for Denis Law, who had a recurring injury problem with his knee, Brian Kidd told me in 2008. And for David Hurd too, who broke his leg against Leicester. Both missed the final, and injuries would hamper Law's later career. In the early 1970s, Crerand sat down with Busby over a few drinks and asked him who was the best player he ever had at Manchester United. I don't like ranking players because I don't like hurting feelings, said Busby. Then he paused before saying, Denis Law, I agreed with him, Crerand told me when working on his 2007 autobiography. If you needed a goal, Denis would get it for you. He's certainly the best player I ever played with, partly because he was so selfless. If Denis Law was in front of goal with a 95% chance of scoring, and someone was stood in a better position with a 99% chance of scoring, he'd pass the ball. People didn't realize that he was a dirty, vicious, nasty B*** D on the pitch. He had to be because the only way you could stop great players playing was to kick them. He was great in the air, fantastically brave, and had a sharp football brain and quick feet. For such a great goal scorer, he was staggeringly unselfish, said John Doherty, a fan who also played for the club in the 1950s and wrote profiles on every player. Nothing physical because there wasn't very much of him. But although he was slender, he was tough as old boots, frightened of nobody despite their size and strength. Beyond that, he had superb all-round ability. He was a demon in the air, he had a fabulous touch with both feet, and his nous enabled him to take up dangerous positions instinctively, and he was a fantastic finisher. Advertisement, Denis was great fun as a person, recalled his close friend Crerand. He could be strange at times, a little introverted, and was probably the shyest member of the team. He pretended to be outgoing, but I think that was only to hide his shyness in social situations. I hadn't always had such a glowing opinion of Denis. The first time I saw him play, I thought he was the most arrogant person I had ever seen on a football field. He didn't just act as if it was his ball, he acted as if it was his stadium. When somebody took the ball from him, he glared at them as if they had a cheek. And even when he scored a goal, he made you wonder if anyone had ever scored a goal before. By the time I joined United, he often used to pop round mine for a cup of tea. Drinking my tea meant he had to buy less of his own. Law moved back to City in 1973 and famously backheeled a ball into the Stretford end goal, which he thought had relegated United, but the Reds were already down in 1974. I looked into the corner of our dressing room and Denis Law was sat there, head in his hands, still wearing his City shirt, said the United captain, Willie Morgan. He had come to offer his condolences and just sank into the corner. Some of our players were trying to console him, but it was no use. When he died, aged 84, in January 2025, I was tasked with ringing some of his former teammates to tell them the awful news. He was slight, with the heart of a lion, said Kid, a sad former teammate. An unbelievable finisher, he scored every type of goal. He said to me, "If you're ever wide, don't look up, put the cross in early." He was the king of the Stretford end. Catch up on the rankings so far, no 25. Bruno Fernandes, no 24. Denis Irwin, no 23. Bill Fowkes, no 22. Billy Meredith, no 21. Roger Byrne, no 20. Gary Neville, no 19. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Dwight York, Andy Cole and Teddy Sheringham, no 18. Martin Butchin, no 17. Paddy Crerand and Nobby Stiles, no 16. David Beckham, no 15. Mark Hughes, no 14. Ruud van Nistelrooy, no 13, Nemanja Vidic and Rio Ferdinand, no 12, Duncan Edwards, no 11, Peter Schmeichel, no 10, Cristiano Ronaldo, no 9, Eric Cantona, no 8, Paul Scholes, no 7, Wayne Rooney.